Welcome back, guys, to UC Organics. Today we're going to talk about vertical growing. We're going to look at all the different things that we have growing on trellises. We're going to take a look at what we can do to make things better, how we can increase production, and how to harvest. As you can see right here, we're looking at watermelon. This is the pot that I have on the deck. As you can see, I've already put down the black tarp, and we're going to let it sprawl and see if it produces watermelon for us. As you can see, I've done a little bit of harvesting already. I've got yellow squash and I've got beets. Our tomatoes are doing very well. As you can see, we've got clusters of tomatoes throughout the entire stalk. And on the other side, as you can see, our tomatoes are starting to get a little size on it. Still growing, lots of blossoms. And it's about 6:30 in the afternoon. The sun is in my back. Our grapevines, now grapevines develop a slight problem. So now I'm going to get a little close-up look. As you can see, that light bluish color, that is a copper fungicide that I use to spray on the grapevines. As you can see, our grapes are still doing very well, but as you can see, there are some black spots and some that are rotting. Now they call that black rot. It is a fungus. We've talked about that all summer, all spring, throughout the growing season. And you can get it. Once I spotted it, I went to the copper fungicide to spray to see if we can combat that disease. Now it's on just a few of the grapes. So hopefully we've caught and isolated it so that, we can get that under control and keep it under control. But I sprayed the entire orchard, top of the leaves, bottom of the leaves, as well as the grape clusters themselves. Now, as you can see down here, I've done weeding. And on the opposite end, I have not yet. So I'll do that tomorrow, and that should give us a clear shot, and hopefully we take care of the problem. Now let's move on around. We're going to start with our watermelon. Vertical growing. As you can see, guys, we've got vertical watermelon growing. We've got smaller ones that are still developing. We've got some here. We've got them here as well as here. Now, hopefully, we can continue to get the blossoms that we need. Now, one thing that I did do was remove all of the lower vines that were growing out away from the trellis, so that energy can be diverted. Our cantaloupe, and as you can see, we've got cantaloupe as well. We've got lots and lots of blossoms. We've got baby cantaloupes developing all over the place. We've got cantaloupe here, still need to be fertilized, and I've done the exact same thing with the cantaloupe that I did with the watermelon. Removed all the wild vines that were growing everywhere. Now on the honeydew, just slightly slower with the growth, but that's okay. There are a few honeydew laying around, but there are only one or two, which we've got one here. So we've got plenty of blossoms, so I'm sure that we're going to get lots and lots of honeydew as well. Now, as you can see, guys, the beans have really taken off. They are at the top of the trellis and fully enclosed the trellis. And that's what we want. We want those beans to grow up so that they can hang down and give us a nice harvest. We've got our cucumbers at about 4 feet. Let me move around and see if we can get a better shot. About 4 feet tall, moving, lots of blossoms on it as well. I suspect that it's going to continue to grow. And you can see the rest of the garden. Our beans are fully enclosed. You cannot even see the ground anymore. That is one thick batch of greens. And as you can see right here, our beets and our radishes have taken off since the last video, moving and grooving. Now look at that okra. Now that okra is going to completely overpower the carrots right next to it. That okra is large and in charge. Our beets, obviously, is doing very well. Our beans, also thick. Our zucchini and our squash has taken off again, very wild, but it is definitely producing lots and lots of flowers. Now over to our melons. This is the tiger melon, the rich sweetness melon, and the Kajari melon. Now again, this is a process that constantly happens week after week. As you can see, I've done leaf pulling to thin out the batch, because if not, it would get wild up in here. And we've got quite a few melons on the vine at this particular point. As you can see down here, that right there, guys, that is a rich sweetness melon. That right there is a Kajari melon. Now let's see if we can go to the other side and get a better view of some of these melons. Now this right here, first time I've ever seen this. This is a double melon. As you can see, we've got one here, and then there's one right next to it. And we've got melons here. We've got a small melon on the bottom. We've got melons here. We've got a melon right there that is ready for pollination. We've got a beautiful melon here. And we've got melons everywhere. Even the tiger melons now, guys, have taken off. Let's see, we've got a tiger melon right there. We've got one here that's ready for fertilization. We've got one right here. So we're gonna see what happens. We've got one right there. So we've got quite a few. And we are going to continue to just let these things grow and develop. And hopefully we get a large harvest. They seem to be doing very, very well. They're healthy, no diseases, knock on wood. And as you can see, they have reached the top of the trellis almost. So they are ready. So we're going to leave them alone. We're just going to continue to do the things that we're doing, keep them watered, make sure they stay hydrated at all times. And then you can see our berries. Most of the blackberries are gone. The birds have ravished them, but we do have quite a few green and red and slightly orange berries. So I'll still be able to get berries as they grow. I just have to do it early in the morning. As you can see here, we've got large blackberries hidden, so the birds haven't found them quite yet. So I did have berries yesterday. I came out and picked a bowl full, and I ate those as a snack. So just want to give you guys a quick update on the vertical growing that we're doing. As you can see, everything is moving right along according to the season, and we will keep you guys apprised on the harvest and the things that are actually growing, and any development that comes along. We'll definitely, good or bad, we'll let you guys know what it is. So if you're having that problem, you can decide on what you need to do with it as well. So as I always say, um, if I can do it, you can do it. All you have to do is get started. UC Organic, backyard trellising, St. Louis, Missouri. Until next time, happy gardening.